Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Sports News Flash at 12. I'm your weekend sports anchor, Mike Medina. So, the first thing I want to talk to you guys, first of all, hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. May God bless each and every one of you. So, the first topic I want to talk about is Clippers owner Steve Ballmer. He has doubled down on his denial of Kawhi Leonard's salary cap allegations. The allegations that him and the team are having is that Kawhi Leonard and basically, okay, this all to put in perspective, investigative journalist Pablo Torre, he recently reported that Ballmer used a 50 million investment in a company called Aspiration to facilitate a 28 million no-show deal for Leonard. The arrangement will violate the NBA's cap circumvention rules, and the league has launched an investigation into the matter. Ballmer has denied Torres reporting. He said that him and the Clippers have no role in that kind of deal. Aspiration is now a bankrupt company. So Ballmer and the team did invest in Aspiration in 2021, but Ballmer said that he had no control over any decision making. Steve Ballmer, he recently was in an interview with Ramona Shelburne on ESPN, and the interview was about 16, 17 minutes. And this is what he had to say. And I quote, "We made an investment in the company. All fine, I had no control of this company. This is important under the salary cap rules. I owned less than 3% of the company. There were investors who put in a lot more money than I did. I had no board seat. I had no control. Heck, it was a fraudulent company. It's possible nobody had control." Ballmer also said that Kawhi Leonard and Aspiration weren't introduced until months after Leonard signed his 4-year max contract in August 2021. The Clippers owner, Ballmer, said that documents provided to the Department of Justice as part of their investigation into Aspiration prove Leonard didn't meet anyone within the company until November of that year. Ballmer said in the interview that at the time, we hadn't introduced Kawhi to Aspiration. We were done with Kawhi. We were done with Aspiration. The deals were all locked and loaded. Then they did ask to be introduced to Kawhi. Under the rules, we can introduce our sponsors to our athletes. We just can't be involved. We made an introduction. Where could any of this circumvention have happened? It didn't. It couldn't have. When Ramona asked Steve Ballmer if he's planning to talk with Kawhi about this, I believe Steve Ballmer said no, that he's not planning to. Steve Ballmer, if you watch the interview, you could tell that he's bothered, he's irritated by this whole investigation. Many people saw that interview and they don't believe that he's being very honest about the investigation. So this is not going to go away anytime soon. We're seeing the beginning of all of this. I feel bad mostly for Kawhi Leonard because not only because Kawhi Leonard is my favorite player in the game, and I don't like hearing his name for the not so good reasons. So, it's not you can't draw conclusions just yet. Like, we have to wait to see more of this story more reports to come out. I don't want to draw conclusions, so I'm gonna leave it right there because Kawhi Leonard is someone that you don't see on social media. He's very quiet, he's reserved, he just goes about his business, he's very private. He's someone that went through a lot in his life, you know, speaking about his father's death. So I'm not gonna say that he's a saint because none of us are. None of us are perfect, but I'm just gonna wait for more reports to come out and let's see what happens from there. So I just hope that this situation doesn't put a stain or an asterisk on Kawhi Leonard's career. So we will have to wait and see for more reports to come out. Because the thing about when it comes to news and things of this magnitude, we don't know what is true, we don't know what is not true, and we don't. And I don't want to be the person to act like, oh, I'm the first one, to report this. What like I'm nowadays, like I'm waiting for more reports to come in and see what happens. So, but yeah, this has been a story that's been going on for a few days now. So yeah, and it's not gonna die down anytime soon, in my opinion. On Thursday, the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles played, and it started very bizarre. You had Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter, who was ejected for spitting on Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. And Prescott, after the game, he said that Dak Prescott said after the game during the press that he spits 1,000 times throughout the game. He also said that he wasn't going to spit on any lineman, and Prescott was basically defending himself, saying that he wasn't trying to spit at Carter. That Carter probably thought that he was trying to spit on him, but that wasn't the case. So the one who looks bad here is Carter because you're the defending champs. You're one of the most important players on your defense. And when you throw a punch, when you spit at another athlete, that's an automatic ejection. So, and Prescott, he didn't expect for Carter to get ejected, but he did highlight that him get ejected changed the whole game plan for the Cowboys. So, Carter, when he got interviewed, he handled himself well, but he was completely in the wrong here. He should have never spit. Dak Prescott, when you see that the replay on camera, Dak Prescott was smiling. You saw him smile. Um, some people think that he was the instigator, but the one who looked really bad in the situation was Carter. It was a very silly move, very dumb decision. So, will he get suspended? I believe so, probably for a game. I think he'll get suspended and he'll get fined. So, that's my opinion. But that is a very weird, bizarre way to kick off the NFL season. But the Eagles did win this game 24-20. Jalen Hurts, he played sensational in this game. CeeDee Lamb had a very bad game for the Cowboys. And But it'll be interesting when these two teams will square off again later this season. Yesterday was the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. You had the 2008 Redeem team. I wish Kobe could have been there. Suber got inducted, Maya Moore, Sylvia Fowles, Mickey Harrison, Dwight Howard, and Carmelo Anthony. I love Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard's speech. Melo's speech, I like the fact that he mentioned Puerto Rico because he is of Puerto Rican descent, for those of you who didn't know. He mentioned his father, his mother, his siblings, mentioned Denver Nuggets, the team that drafted him. Although things didn't end well between him and the Nuggets, but he still mentioned them and credits them and spoke highly of them. The Knicks, he made his mark with the Knicks. He should have never wore shades because, come on, we're inside. He didn't need shades. Other than that, I feel like his speech was great. Well deserved. 3-time Olympic gold medalist. One of the most prolific scorers of his generation. He got inducted by Allen Iverson and Dwayne Wade, I believe it was. Dwight Howard's speech was great. Dwight Howard is someone that I've grown to appreciate years later. This is a man that he has gone through so much criticism, just like Melo. They both have gone through so much criticism. But I feel like Dwight Howard had more criticism. But through it all, he always kept a smile on his face. He has a playful personality. He always had a smile on his face, no matter how dark the storm was. Dwight Howard, guys, during his prime, he was a beast. He was a beast. That magical run in 2009 with the Orlando Magic was sensational. I love the fact that in his speech, he mentioned all of their names. He mentioned so many of his teammates, both the Orlando Magic and the Lakers. I feel like his speech was all humility. I love that the players who represented him on stage were Shaq, someone who was very critical of him, Patrick Ewing, Dominique Wilkins, and Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish won't call me by surprise, but I'm glad he put him up there. And in his speech, I love how he gave a shout out to Dennis Rodman, Dikembe Mutombo, Kareem, all of the big men that were great rebounders and defensive players. But I like the fact they mentioned Dennis Rodman. Although things didn't go well when he was with the Lakers, when he was teammates with Kobe, but it all came to full circle when he won in 2020 with LeBron in the bubble. And Dwight Howard today, I see a person that looks like he's very at peace. He's in great shape as usual, but he looks so much better in shape today. He's at peace. He's more jolly, more satisfied. So well deserved Dwight Howard. Well deserved. Mickey Harrison. I haven't watched his speech yet, but what he has done for the Miami Heat since 1995, nothing but total respect and praise for him. Billy Donovan, another person who got inducted. He is someone that's very liked and respected by his players. won 2 national titles with Florida Gators, 06, 07. When it came to coaching the NBA, he was 1 win away from going to the finals with that 2016 OKC Thunder team. Now he's coaching the Bulls, but he's still searching for success with the Bulls. That's the best way I could put it. I don't know if he's going to be in the hot seat this upcoming season, but overall, he will deserve to get into the Hall of Fame. And his coaching career, it all began, and he learned a lot from the great Rick Pitino. He played for Rick Pitino at Providence, and without Rick Pitino, things would have been different, but he is a major influence in his coaching career. And he learned a lot from him. And last but not least, Aryna Sabalenka won the women's US championship yesterday. And then today, we have the men's finals. Jannik Sinner versus Carl Alcaraz. And I'll leave it right there. Well, guys, that does it for this episode of Sports News Flash at 12. Enjoy your Sunday. There's a lot to week 1. I made a mistake. I thought week 1 was last week, but today is NFL week 1. So enjoy football, guys. Enjoy NASCAR playoffs. I'll see you guys next Sunday for a new episode of Sports News Flash at 12. Take care, everyone, and may God bless each and every one of you.